Hello everyone, and I'm going to show you a video this time, a couple things. We're going to go over a different way to clone your repository from Bitbucket to your local Git. But we'll start off creating Git from new, and then we'll go in and start talking about how to clone it, and then we'll do some basic pushing files and pulling files and so forth. So I showed you in class how to do SSH, so I'm going to show you a different way of doing it. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to pretend we're going to start from scratch. So I'm going to do an mkdir. So here's one thing I recommend. Let's say that you have an existing repository you have locally and you have it linked to SSH. You're going to want to scrap that and start following this video, and it'll take you from beginning. So I'm going to create a new repository called Git. We'll call it Git demo. So I make a directory. Next thing I need to do, remember, is initialize that directory because I need to add the .git file to it. So the .git, now it's a Git file. It's a Git folder. We can use it for Git. All right, so we have our Git. And as you notice, this is master. That's only because that's the general. So like I said, I'm not going to get into detail how to switch masters around. You don't really have to do that. If you want to, we could discuss it. And I'll make a new video on that. But right now, let's just keep it basic. Master is the default. So now we have this default. So if I do an ls, oops. If I do an ls, there's nothing there. Okay. Actually, I created a directory, so I need to go into directory. So I'm going to do a git demo. So that's the first thing you want to do, is get into the directory that you created, your Git directory. So now I'm going to do a clear ls pwd. I'm there. Good. All right. So next thing that we're going to do is let me pull up the Bitbucket. All right. So I created a Bitbucket called demo. Let me minimize a little bit here. Oh, let's see here so I can fit this whole screen. There we go. All right. So we have this Git demo here. Now I showed you guys how to do SSH. We're going to make it a little bit different. If you go up here and choose HTTPS, there's a different URL there. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back to my Git. I'm going to type here, I'm going to type git clone. I'm going to paste in that address that I just put there and hit enter. So now it's going to clone it, and it's going to bring up, you should get this username. So what I'm going to do here is enter my username. I'm going to enter my email address in just to play it safe. Hopefully I entered it in right. Hit login. Warning, you appear to have cloned your empty repository. So that's good. It's saying that I cloned the empty repository. No problems asked. All right, so now let's go do an ls. Look at this. You have this Git demo. You know what that means? They cloned that repository because it's called a Git demo. So first thing that you want to do in order to get files and send files, you want to cd into it. You want to go cd git demo. Okay, now I'm going to add a file. I'm going to say, now this is a combination you want to do. Let's say that you have different ways of adding files. You could easily, we could easily do this. And this is what you'll do with your Python homework, for example. So let's say that, let me make something up real quick, and then I'll show you what I'm thinking about here. Let's see my documents. I have Git demo. So let's say that I created a, let me see if I have a text file here. Let me just do this for a second. Testing. Okay. File. This is really not anything. I'm just going to make a fake file real quick. We'll do. Alright. I'll just. My documents. Where are we at, buddy? There we are. Alright. So we'll call this main.py for Python. Good. Alright, so I save that. It's just a test file. Now you see right here, it automatically recognizes PyCharm. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this. This would be something like, let's say that you have your homework on your computer somewhere and you want to move it over there. Now you could do it on, you could go in here and do it and move it around. That's fine. Like, let's try that. So we're right here. So what we need to do is go back, and I'll show you different ways of doing it. Let's see here. Alright, so where is that at? Let's see, pwd. Alright, so lsl, where is that file? It's okay. I see it right here. So if I do a pwd, it shows it's under C user Jeffrey Seaman document. So what I could do is I could do a couple things. I could copy or move it. I'll just copy it. I'll say copy main.py, and then I want to put the folder where I'm putting it at. So I'm going to say, move it over to Git demo. Then we know that it's in a folder called name of our repository, which is Git demo, which is repetitiveness, I guess. Oops, wrong one. All right. So we'll type Git demo again. Hit enter. Now, let's see if it works. So if I go into Git demo, look at that, my main PY is there. Another way I could have did it is I could easily went out here and copy this, then went into Git demo and pasted it, but I didn't do that way. So just wanted to show you a way of doing it. So let's go back to this. Now that we added a file there, if we do an ls, we have a file. Now after you add a file, remember the steps that you have to do every time. We add a file, we'll do a Git Status. When we see it's red, that means it's not tracked. So we need to track it. How do we do that? We do git add, and then we do main.py. Boom, it's there. So now if I do a Git Status again, it's green. That means, guess what? It's being tracked. Awesome. You see, cached, unstaged. That means we need to stage it. So how do we stage it? We type git commit -m, adding new file. Okay, so you're always gonna do this. You're always gonna get a git commit, and you're always gonna have to do the -m to add a message to it for the history. All right, so it shows that you added one. So you could do a git log. You do the git log to make sure that it has your name, it has the date, and it has a commit. It's showing that the head is you, and it's pushing it to the master. If I go Git Status, boom, we're good. So now we have this file. I'm gonna clear this. We have this file. Now what we need to do is push it up to our Bitbucket. How we do that? We type in git push origin master. Now you're wondering, like, why is he typing in master? So when you go out to Bitbucket, anytime you set up a Bitbucket account, your default branch is master branch, no matter what. Okay, so this is the master branch. Now, however, if you create, you could go out here and create a new branch and call it something else. If that was the case, then I'll go back to here. Let's say you went out there and called it my homework. So for example, then you would do git push origin my homework, or whatever the case is. But in the class here that we're just using the default branch is master, so we'll just use that. So I'll do git push origin master and hit enter. What this is going to do is it's going to push any records that I have added in stage to the repository and hit enter. Alright, so look at that. It wrote them properly, so let's validate it worked. So I'll come over here and I'll go to my commits. Look at this, it says Jeff Seaman committed, has a commit, added a new file a minute ago, even though it was a second ago, but whatever. And it shows you down here, what did he add? He added that. Alright, good. So let's see here. If we click on view file, you can actually edit it from here. Now the thing about editing it from here is fine, but if say you go in here and you create a new file or edit a file and you don't compile it, you don't know if it worked. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add another line to this. I'm going to say adding second line of comments like that. Okay, I'm going to hit commit. I'm going to commit it from up here. Okay. Alright, so now what we're going to do, you could do it side by side if you want. It'll do comparison. It'll show you originally it was testing file. Now this green right here shows that a second file was added. So let me go over into my local Git. This is my local Git. Now if I do an ls, I'm going to view this file. Okay, I just want to see what it looks like. You notice it just has the testing file. Okay, and that's only because we have the version that we have. So I'm going to do a : quit. Now what we need to do is get that most recent version. How do we do that? Git pull origin master. Hit enter. Alright, now see it shows right here that they fetched from the head and then grabbed the change and it brought it down. So let's go into ls. Actually, we could do git log here, and it will show. These times are weird, but it shows that I made a change on the server. So I'm going to view that file. Look at that. Second line is there. So now these two are linked up properly. So remember this. Let me actually pull up a notepad here. Create a new. All right. So when you're actually want to use this as an example here, gotta pause this. All right. So as you see here, that is the way that you commit stuff. Just remember that the functions that you want to do is pretty much going forward. After you added the file, like say you did a git touch file name .c or git touch file name .py for Python. After that, after you add the file, or if you moved it over or moved file over via, we'll say Windows or Mac, whatever, the steps that you will always follow is this. So let's say that we did this. We'll say we git touch file name .py. Okay, and second thing that we do after we do it, remember we need to do a git status. This verifies that the file exists. Okay, and then next thing you're going to do is you're going to add it. You're going to do git add file name .py, or name of your file. Oops. This adds the file to staging. Okay, it's ready to be committed. So now you do a git status again. You know what that means. Also do a git log. Actually, you know what? Don't do a git log yet. So next thing you'll do is you'll do a git commit. So you want to put something specific here on your message about that file. And what this does is it takes the file from unstage and moves to staging and local, well, actually unstage to staging and local repository. Okay, then you want to do a git log. This verifies, like this will verify the commit ID, name, and when it took place. Okay, that is the steps that you do locally. Now push code to Bitbucket and or any hub such as GitLab, GitHub, etc. What do? First thing you do is you locate the name of the branch, such as Bitbucket, that you are pushing your code to. So default is always master. So the only way to be different is if you created something different, or if you're working in a company that they have a different branch. So next thing that you want to type is you want to go to your local WinBash if in Windows, or terminal if on Mac, and then go to your repository that is cloned on that machine. Okay, so you want to go to that repository, and then you want to type in git push origin master. What this does, this pushes all of your staged items after you performed a commit, moves to Bitbucket, for example. In this case, we'll keep it simple. Okay, now do a git log, then go to Bitbucket and click on commits to verify that your file has moved. Also check out source. That's it. Okay, now pull code down. This happens when someone creates a file, modifies a file, or you add a file at the Bitbucket level. Okay, so if you have this at Bitbucket level, all you do is go to your local Git repository, Git clone repository, and then you type in this. You do the same thing, but you type in git pull origin master. That's it. And then it pulls your file. So maybe what you want to do is verify locally that the file exists. So how you do that? Just LSL, verify the date and time, then also do a README, do a VIM file name .py or whatever it is, verify that the file looks different. You could also do a git log and verify the log schedule. See, to verify, that's one of the reasons you do the commit, so with the message, so you could see different commits. So in a nutshell, this right here will help you get back and forth setting up Git from scratch, doing some of the basic commands. Right now we're not getting into anything elite or anything specific, but right now this is just straight up with what we're trying to accomplish. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. If not, thank you for listening and have a great day and watching as well.